Welcome to the Lifestyle Chase. This podcast features high performers who have found a way to live their best life while balancing their health, wellness, friends, and family. Proudly hosted by me, Chris Little. Without further ado, let's get started.
Here we are for episode 17 with the one, the only, Robert Clark. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great.
Fantastic.
So, tell us about your day. How's your day been so far?
Typically on a Tuesday I'd be teaching at Concordia, but they are done for the semester, so I instead went to the gym.
Excellent.
Yep.
What did you work on today at the gym?
Chest and core. Tuesdays are always chest and core for me.
Sweet. What's your favorite core workout?
Oh, that's a tough one. There's one I've been doing semi-recently. I can't even remember what it's called. It's where you grab the weight from a cable, and you're kneeling on the ground, and then you're like pulling.
Okay,
what do you call those? I don't remember what to call those.
Honestly, I'm notorious for just making up barbaric names for things.
Like cable crunching, core.
But honestly, when it comes to talking to clients, you want to make it as relatable as possible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
But my cues for a pull-up are, first you make your Ninja Turtle shell. So that's them pulling their shoulder blades apart.
Yeah.
And then you engage your core. Now that one's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Then bend your knees.
Mm-hmm.
But then you win the Nintendo. And
yes.
So with
Shazam!
winning the Nintendo, you don't want your arms too far away. You don't win Mario Kart and flail your arms far away from your face. You bring it in close.
Yes.
So it's highly relatable. I've had a very good success rate with these cues. People look at me funny, but everybody that I go with understands how to do a pull-up now. So
that's the way it should be.
Great.
We're too overly technical, I think, sometimes when we're trying to describe something. It's like, now you were engaging your latissimus dorsi. Nobody wants to hear that.
What?
Yeah, nobody wants to hear
my
that.
back?
Yeah.
We have to be relatable to people.
Yeah.
There's no sense giving our clients a textbook to understand what we're saying.
Yeah.
So we might as well just start from the most relatable cues as possible. So take us through the busiest day of your week, or the busiest day you've had in the last month.
Holy day, or
last week was crazy.
Stretch.
Hey?
Last week was insane.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Now you're testing my memory because I notoriously can't even remember what I eat for breakfast. So, however, last week it was the end of Concordia, so there was a whole lot of stuff going on at the university. Kids finishing their finals, me finishing up lessons with some of them. So add into all of that, obviously, what I do, I'm a personal trainer, so I have clients that I'm working with. Obviously, most people know me as the Anthem Singer, so there were a couple of anthems last week as well. But then we also had, you and I, our sexy photo shoot.
Damn right.
But that day was crazy. What day was that? That was
Friday.
Friday. Thank you.
It's funny because everybody was like, well, where's the other guy? I was like, yeah, Rob Clark. And yeah, what's he doing? I was like, why don't you turn on the radio?
You didn't turn on the radio, did you?
No.
Okay, good.
Because that would have been great. We would have known about how soon you were coming.
Right.
Okay, he finished. Give him about 20 minutes to get here from downtown.
Yeah, so that Friday, I trained in the morning. I think we even had a car to clean. So my wife and I run a car detailing business, so we had a car to clean that. Actually that morning as well. I didn't have any Concordia students, which was nice, but then I did my own training, of course. And then I had an Oilers game, so I have to be there by about a half an hour before every game. And the game was at 7. So I was there by 6:30. And then our photo shoot was at 7:30 in the West End.
Yeah. You didn't have much time to spare.
No, because I don't sing at 7. It's usually about 7:08 is kind of when I go in and sing. So literally, I came into Rogers Place. One of the security guards was there, and I was just like, because he usually chats with me a little bit. And I'm like, sorry, I can't chat today. I'm literally here. I had my coat on still. Usually I leave all my stuff in a room. But I had to grab everything with me and then run. And so I told him what was going on. He's like, well, here, give me your coat. I'll have it ready for you when you come off the ice. And so
nice.
like literally I went to sing, I don't care if you edit this out or not. I almost forgot the words that night because my mind was in like 33 different places. So like, and this happens to me every once in a while. I never have forgotten the words, but because I was thinking about the photo shoot, I was thinking about what had happened during the day, and so sometimes my brain goes into panic mode. Like, what are the next words? What are the next words? And then they come like instantly. It's never failed me. Probably as I age, it might, but. So that time it happened about 3 times. Got through the anthems, was happy, and literally ran back. He had my coat open, threw my arms in, and then ran to the car. My wife was waiting because I needed some help. So she was waiting with the car right out front. And then we just took off. And I made it with like 5 minutes to spare, I think. And then changed into my sport clothes and photo shooted away.
Yeah, I loved how, like, so many people in the group weren't connecting the dots as to, like, what was tying you up. Like,
right.
Like, nah, like, he's got something pretty important he's doing right now. He's a little tied up.
He's at Rogers doing some stupid thing. No, it's not stupid. I love doing it. But no, yeah. It's a crazy life, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah. And this is going to be an interesting episode because you have a pretty loyal following with fans of the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they don't all know that there's so much more to you than singing the anthem.
Right.
So hopefully they'll be able to appreciate more of your broad skill set.
Yeah, well,
this episode.
I do many things.
Many
different things.
Many things. So when would you say your fitness journey began?
Oh, like officially from kind of when I started to where I am now, it's probably been almost 2 years. So it was the beginning of 2017, where I was almost 350 pounds. And I've been a fat kid my whole life. And I say that as I can say I was a fat kid. And I was teased by it, by people, like a lot of people, my friends, some of my family members. I remember a case when I was younger where my grandma, she would babysit us and she'd have treats for us, but I wouldn't get some of the treats because I was too fat. She would say that. She'd give them out to the other 3 kids. She'd go, oh, no, Rob, or Robbie at the time. You can't have any more because you're too fat. So I grew up with this horrible fat complex, right? And not a great relationship with my grandmother either. Just lived with that. And so I had started and stopped probably about a bazillion times, trying to lose weight, but always gaining it back. And I think it was just until, like I said, beginning of 2017 when I was almost 350 pounds. And I'm like, I'm done. This is it. I can't, if that number goes any higher than 350, I don't know what I'm going to do. I wasn't in a good state mentally, obviously not a good state physically. And I knew that I had to change or bad things were going to happen. So that's kind of where it all started.
And what measures did you take to start your journey? Was it all like self-directed, just kind of like looking up stuff on the internet? Did you take yourself to the gym? Did somebody else go with you?
I'll admit it started kind of the same way I had started most other times. But the difference was that I didn't want to gain any more weight. I was too big and that was sort of the catalyst. So, but it was all self-directed at first. I bought a membership, which I'd done many other times before, and started working out. But I had so I started at World Health, where you get 2 free sessions when you sign up. And I started my first session with a trainer that was there, Mark Campbell. And, I say Campbell, it's Mark Cameron. Every time I say Campbell, because I know Mark Campbell.
Yeah. I was going to be...
No, not Mark Campbell. It was Mark Cameron. This is like the second time I've done that. Thank you. And I sat down with him for my first session, and he was just a really, really good guy. Willing to share whatever information. He knew that I didn't have a lot of money, that I couldn't afford training. But he set me up with a really, really decent plan, kind of went through what I can do to get started. And the whole time I was there, and the whole time he was there, he left like maybe, I think 3 months after I started working out. But he said, anytime I'm free, if you want any advice or tips, or if you want me to give you a hand with something, just let me know. And that really struck a chord with me. That was, for me, that was kind of one of the big things that helped me stay committed.
Yeah.
Was just that he offered that help, right? As a trainer, that's huge. Because he could have just said, well, fine, you're not going to get sessions. Well, here's your free session, and see you later. Yeah. As lots of people do, right? But he's not like that. And to this day, I thank him profoundly for the influence and the mentorship, essentially, that he gave me for free. That really set me on the path. Yeah.
Was there ever a time you had to take him up on like the free advice? Or
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used that to my advantage. Good. I was I'd get into my routine, and then I'd do an exercise where I was like, this doesn't feel right. And if he was around and he wasn't working with somebody, because I'm not going to just jump in the middle of his training session, like, can you come over here for a second? Yeah. No. Like he would, if he wasn't working with somebody, I'd ask him, like, well, am I doing this right? And he'd come over and he'd say, well, show me what you're doing. And so I'd show him the exercise, and he'd be like, well, I think the reason you're feeling pain is because, your shoulder's too far forward or whatever. Right. And it spoke volumes to me. It was really, really helpful. Even though the things he said were probably really obvious, it's just I didn't know what to do. Super simple adjustments, but to me it meant the world. So yeah.
Well, even just saying like different cues are really obvious. That's like saying that there's such thing as a stupid question. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Yeah. Like there's no clarification that's not legitimate enough.
Oh no, exactly, right? And it's like anybody going to the gym, like it's like you going into a new job. Like you don't know everything, right? Yeah. You think you know a few basics, but getting good form and all that stuff was really helpful for me in the beginning, because if he hadn't offered any help, I don't know if I would have committed. I don't know if I would have stuck with it, to be honest. Yeah. Because he made me really understand what the movement was for and what muscle I was working, where I would have just gone in and I would have been in pain and I would have stopped and I would have just gained the weight back, sort of thing. So I think he was
made it sustainable for you,
yeah,
which is great.
That's absolutely.
Like the best gift that a trainer can give is to like empower people to have something in their skill set to take with them, and then they can build on that, but at least they have some kind of foundation.
Yeah, 100%.
So when you first were on my radar, I was we got a new Anthem Singer.
Right.
Let's see what he's about. Like every so often, like you would have a Facebook post and something, and somebody would like it, so I'd see it in my stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember there was a period of time where you're like, "Hey, I need to find a job," and I think this was before you started at Toyota.
Mm-hmm.
So take us on your journey from like that point
to
now.
Okay. So this may be a loaded question in a few ways, but I'll give a little bit of background as to before that post, why I made that post. Because I performed professionally as an opera singer for about 10 years. That's what I trained to do. I have a master's degree in music with a focus in opera. About 3 years ago, I had decided I needed to make a switch. I needed to move away. I was becoming fairly successful at being an opera singer and performing, successful in the sense that I was getting more shows and getting more recognition. But it took me away from my family all the time. Sometimes I was gone for 3 months at a time. And it was hard on them, even though my wife, who is probably the most supportive person in the universe, and supported me in the career all the way and said, no, this is what you want to do. This is what you need to do. I still knew that in the back of my mind, it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't able to see my kids. I wasn't watching them grow up. I wasn't there for some birthdays. Like it was hard to be away all that time. So, I decided to kind of put a hold on the opera career and worked a couple of other jobs in between, but because I have 4 kids at home and a wife who at the time couldn't really work, she's got a lot of anxiety and is dealing with a lot of anxiety, or was for a while, still does, but not to the same extent. I kind of work towards finally saying, you know what, I need to find a steady job. I need a job that's gonna, pay the bills, that I can depend on, because opera is not a dependable income. It's very up and down. I could do 6 operas one year and 1 maybe the next. It's very, very up and down. So I put a big Facebook post out asking if anybody knew of any job opportunities, and I had a lot of people from World Financial Group contact me. I won't say anything bad about World Financial Group. I think they're great. It's not for me though. I've gone to a meeting and I sat down with somebody and talked about it, and it's just that I'm not a big fan of sort of trying to get my friends and family involved in something that, I didn't really 100% believe in either.
Yeah.
Not that it's bad. A lot of people do it. A lot of people are really successful at it. But it wasn't for me.
And also, there's lots of different angles to play it, because we got to give credit where credit is due. There's a lot of people who will do World Financial Group, and they won't necessarily worry about their friends and family. They'll find different ways to market themselves, so it's more of the general public and direct to the people that want the services.
Yeah,
and they're providing legitimate services.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we pay our life insurance through World Financial Group. So, and it says something when they reach out to you and say, "Hey, I think you'd be a good fit," right? It means they think they see something in you, right?
It's always basically. They are calling out your drive, your determination, your work ethic, and that's always a great compliment.
Absolutely, yeah. But then I was contacted, sort of indirectly by Shore Park Toyota. Art Angelski's the dealer principal there, and they said, do you want to come in for an interview? We've got a job for you." And I'm like, "Sure." I had no experience in the automotive industry, at all. I know basically nothing about cars. And I go in for the interview, and basically they sit me down and they're like, "Well, here's the job." It was I can't remember the title anymore. Delivery coordinator. So basically in charge of getting vehicles ready for people to pick them up. And they said, we ask for references, but a lot of people know who you are, so we trust you. Here's the job. And I'm like, okay. And it offered a pretty decent salary. It wasn't amazing, but it was better than what I was doing. And so I took the job, and I worked there for about 9 months. And it was within that job where I met you for the first time. And I met you because I saw an Instagram story where you took over Yeg Fitness's account for the day.
That's been how a few people have met.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I watched that. I'm like, this guy's really cool. He does a lot of cool stuff, and he teaches spin. And I'm like, I've never done spin before. And I'd already started my fitness journey, and I was already kind of reaching out and chatting with people and trying new things. And I'd never taken a spin class before.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think I reached out to you directly, and I said, I'd love to take your spin. I don't remember. We'd have to look at the message history or something.
I can kind of recollect. So I remember one afternoon I was just leaving True Ride, and then I look at my phone. It's like, Rob Clark, the Anthem Singer, is following me. Yes! Because, I'm an Oiler fan. I appreciate every aspect of the Oilers. I was like, sweet. And then you were liking my post. I was like, this guy likes motivation. I can get on the same page as him. Then I think at some point, maybe it was you commented on one of my posts or something. And then you're like, well, how do I go to a class? And I was like, well, first class is free.
Right. Yes. That sounds very familiar. I think that's how it happened.
What was your experience with spin the very first time? Because everybody's is unique. It's usually a complete culture shock.
Well, it my very, very first experience with spin. I'd never done sort of a traditional spin class before, anything like that. So, and True Ride is very unique in the way they do their spin classes. At least at the time, it was very unique to me. So you walk in, they give you these crazy weird shoes, right? They teach you how to clip in, even though I was super nervous. and had no idea what was going on. And I think you helped me because I was just like,
For sure.
I don't know what's going on. Like, it's not working. You're like, you just got to, just calm down, put your feet in the things, right? And I'm like, okay. But like it's the mood, it's the lighting, it was the atmosphere, and then of course the instructor, right? And I came out of my first class loving it. Like, I loved it, and I thought I'd hate it because I'm not really a big cardio fan. I will not go for a run. I like riding my bike, but like not sort of in a cardio way.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't play a lot of sports. Didn't really play much growing up. I played rugby for a couple of years, but that was about it. And so just, cardio for me was never an enjoyable thing. But I came out, and it happened at a really good time for me because Toyota was really weighing down on me. It was not, in the end, it was not the job for me. It was mind numbing. And this is nothing to say anything against Toyota because I love them. But for me, coming from a crazy creative job, being an opera singer, using my voice as my instrument, as my way to convey emotion, all that kind of stuff, to sitting at a desk, inputting data, and like telling car detailers what they needed to do. It just was like, it was the worst job for me. And so by going to spin, and because I would do it before I'd go to work, it made my entire day just like completely different. Like, I had energy and I was excited, and even though the job itself was just mind numbing, it made my day better. Yeah. So my first experience, that was a very long answer to that question. My first experience had me hooked. Absolutely.
Sweet. That's awesome. At what point did you decide that you were going to be a trainer? What was your TSN turning point for that?
Oh, it wasn't right away. I think it started when, and I think this is why this time was different opposed to all the other times where I started trying to lose weight and all this kind of stuff. I decided to actively seek people out and ask for advice, sessions, questions, all that kind of stuff. And it was by doing that, that's how I met. And I think it's sort of when I really started using Instagram too, was January of 2017. Because, and again, this is another reason why it was different, because I decided to log sort of what my journey was going to be, by posting updates, some of the workouts I was doing, all that kind of stuff. And I started getting attention that way from fitness people, local fitness people. Some not local fitness people, but those people were weird because they were just trying to follow you so that you'd follow them.
Rep our brand.
Yeah, exactly. Peep our page right now. Thanks, B2 Apparel. But I think that's how I met Dean Guido and Andrew Coates. Because I don't know, I think I saw one of Dean's crazy weird posts that are amazing.
He had some wild.
Oh, they were crazy, and like.
Just like, he was big on the Spider-Man infographics.
Yes. And like, his drawings were so bad, but they made perfect sense.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dean, if you're listening to this, I love you. And I noticed that they were doing a podcast. I started listening to their podcast and just kind of got to know them a little bit, and again, messaged them, asking questions. I had a cool session with Dean where he helped me with a couple of exercises. And met Andrew a few times as well. I've cleaned Andrew's car. So it was through meeting, those kind of people, where I started to see kind of what their lifestyle was like. They were in the business of helping people improve their life. And coming from an operatic background, where was I helping people with my profession? Some could argue very strongly that yes, I was. And I felt there were times, like, if I was practicing my craft good enough, and if I was conveying the emotion that I was intending, that somebody in the audience will be affected, one way or another, by the way that I sing. And so, to get feedback from people like that was really helpful to me. So I wanted to be, and part of it too was, I did want a career shift, but I wanted a career shift where I was really helping people. So I considered being an occupational therapist. I considered going into, nursing even. But it was as I was going through my fitness journey and meeting people in the fitness industry where I'm like, I could really help people improve their health because I'm doing it and I know how it's making me feel and I'm seeing results and I'm happier and, I'm not as depressed. I'm like, I could do this for people and hopefully be able to make an income doing it. And so it wasn't an idea that happened instantly. It was one that formulated. I'd spoken with my wife a few times, talked about it, mentioned it to my family, just kind of, thinking this is something I could do. And for the most part, people are like, okay, sure, Rob. Yeah, you're gonna be a personal trainer. It's like, first, you should probably commit to your health first, because they've all seen me go through my ups and downs of fitness and health. And so it was kind of like the, never cry wolf sort of thing where, sure, Rob, like, we'll believe it when we see it sort of thing. And so I think that also fueled me a little bit where it was kind of like the doubt from other people.
Yeah, just
kind
like,
of,
I'll show
you. Yeah, well, fine. I'm going to lose more. I'm going to, be more fit. And now I'm more fit than my family. So no, I don't mean that in a negative way. I love my family, of course.
It's just, it's a good motivation piece because we all have our down days.
Yeah.
And sometimes that self-affirmation, that thing that you can validate yourself on without any hesitation is
absolutely
one of the most powerful things to keep you moving forward.
Totally. And I never really experienced that until doing this where yes, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel good. I feel good physically, but I also feel really good mentally, which for a while, there were some dark times in my life where mentally I was not doing well. Part of that is because of the career I was in, the opera career. It's so up and down. It's a very judgmental career where you're being judged on your personal voice at all times. And to an extent, your appearance, because a lot of people think, if you're an opera singer, you have to be fat. Actually, that's no longer the case. In today's world, opera needs to be as aesthetically pleasing as musical theater, as movies, right? People can't believe, for example, that you've been starving in a jail for 2 years, but you're also 400 pounds, right? That happened in an opera I was in. Not I wasn't the 400-pound person, but there was somebody who was a bigger person who was supposed to have been in a prison for 2 years. The opera's called Fidelio. And it was like, well, somebody was sneaking you pie every day because there's no way you've been starving for 2 years, It's not believable anymore, right?
Yeah.
So you need to, I think you need to be in somewhat of a decent shape for people to believe the character you're doing. Unless the character's supposed to be fat, then you're good.
And it's so crazy. I think people don't even think twice about that. They're like, oh, opera. And they just go to the old stereotype. They're like, yeah, I don't know too many fitnessy opera singers. So
yeah.
Be good.
Well, it's shifting and it has to shift. It has to evolve. Opera always has evolved. Not as quickly as other art forms. But for opera to survive, it needs to appeal to today's audience, right? And today's audience is about instant gratification, is about the spectacle, being able to be stimulated in all 5 senses, right? And so operas, in a lot of ways, people think opera is this archaic, sort of highbrow, snobby kind of thing, and they can't be that anymore. So they take operas and they basically rework them. The music is the same because it has to be, but they'll modernize it. They'll take Marriage of Figaro and they'll set it in an office building in Edmonton or something like that. They'll just do modern things to it. But they also, and I was told by one opera director that I was too fat. He's like, if you lose some weight, I'll put you in big heroic tenor roles. But no one's going to believe it if I cast you right now. And that was not too long before I started my own fitness stuff because it pissed me off, but it also kind of punched me in the face at the same time. Where it was just like you need to change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of time, that sort of baggage we carry, that when we're like, I'm throwing in the towel, it's like, nope. I remember what that guy said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna shut him up real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, the unfortunate part is I decided to make the change and also decided to leave the opera world.
Well, yeah.
But I haven't fully left, right? Like I'm doing an opera in February, and I'm not going to be traveling doing opera across the country anymore because it's not what I want to do. But I'm still able to perform. I mean, I still do the anthem for the Oilers, which I love doing.
Yeah.
And I'm still able to do concerts here and there. Nothing huge, but I'm still able to tap into my artistic side. And do all the 43 other things that I like to do.
And honestly, like, every time I think about it, I'm like, I don't think that there's any other anthem singer with as much of a following as you. Like, most anthem singers in the NHL, it's like, oh, there he is again. There he goes. Do you know his name? Nope. You? Nope. Cool.
I guess. I mean, I think part of that is because I'm more active than they are on social media. I think that's one big reason. I mean, when you think about, at least when I think about a hockey game, I don't. Well, no, maybe I do kind of think about the anthem singer because I'm partial to singing the anthem, and it's whatever. But it's not the main part of a hockey game, right? The main part of the hockey game is the hockey. That's why it's called a hockey game. It's not called an anthem singing hockey game. Although there were some anthem singers that seem to think that it is. I am not one of those. But I think it's just because I'm more active on social media. I interact with the fans. There are some. There's a couple. I'm trying to think. The one in Boston. Can't remember his name. Anyways, there's a few out there that do some social media stuff. But yeah, I think that's the way we got to go, right? We got to be on social media if we want to make ourselves known.
Do you have a network of like the league's anthem singers that you all just kind of talk in a group chat?
No, there may be one, and maybe I just haven't been invited onto it. But I haven't actively looked to see if there is one. There might be. I should do that. Check and see.
You could start it.
I could start one.
You could be like the ringleader.
That'd just give me one more thing to do.
That's true. 47 things.
That'd be 47. Totally. There may be, for all I know, but I have no idea.
I think it's so funny how the beginning of every game, you get tagged by at least like 20 people that I know. It's like, there's our boy.
Yeah, every time. And every once in a while, there's always detractors in every profession. But somebody will be like, he's good, but he's not as good as some other one. But usually it's because they don't like the sound of an opera voice, right? Or I have one person that always says he sings it too slow, and I'm just like,
People actually say that?
Oh yeah. But they're very few and far between.
Yeah.
Like the reaction and the support. Like I'd say 98% of the people that post stuff were positive. Like I've been very, very lucky to have such a positive following of people. Yeah.
So the last Oiler game I went to, the Uber was kind of slow, so I got there like just in time to hear you, but I also had to pee.
Right.
So I was standing at the urinal, and you get started, I'm like, yes, it's Rob! There I go, peeing away, and you finish, I'm like, woo! At the urinal. But the best part is there's like 10 other dudes, and they're cheering along with me.
Nice. There you go.
The support you have. It's in the bathroom, outside of the bathroom.
Oh, man.
In the bars.
I get people like somebody a friend of mine, Scott Weller, and he was in Vegas. And he's like, see, even in Vegas, people show your anthem, right? And there was like 10 screens, and I was like the bottom right corner. But he's like, you're still there.
Count it. Yeah.
But that's what's been one of the most rewarding things, I think, of being the anthem singer, is the support that I've received. The people that I've been able to meet. I mean, just recently I did that Glow Juicery challenge with the salads and all that stuff where we, I'm on a Facebook group called the Edmonton Oilers Diehards page. And it's like a group of 7,000 plus strong of just diehard Oilers fans. A lot of them don't live in the city. And these are people that they just come together. They talk about the Oilers. They don't ever really bash them. There's not any like vulgar bashing allowed on the page. People can say their minds to with some degree of taste. But but yeah, they're just a very, very positive, good group of people. You know, just all of them, just average Joes, just work 9-to-5 jobs, but have been so supportive of me. Like, it's insane. They were the ones that helped me raise the most amount of salads for this thing.
So tell us the backstory of the Glow Juicery salad
competition. Right. So Glow Juicery every couple months does a food fight where they pit two, I guess, prominent Edmontonians against each other. And whoever, both of them make their own salad creations based on the ingredients that Glow Juicery has. And whoever wins the competition gets part of their proceeds donated to a charity of their choice. And so TJ Sadler, head of Yeg Fitness, the magazine, he contacted me and said, they've asked me to be in this. Do you want to be my competitor? And I'm like, oh man, I mean, TJ's really well connected. Like, he knows a lot of people in the city. And I thought, I don't think I'm going to beat him. Like, I'll do it. I said yes, but I'm like, whoa, this is scary because I don't like losing. I'm a very competitive person, even though I didn't play sports. Probably a good thing I didn't play sports, but when even when I'm playing a friggin' board game, like, I'm super competitive.
I could just like picture Will Ferrell.
yes, but always losing. So I agreed, and it was about halfway through the month, and I was making posts about it and all sorts of stuff, and then I finally was like, you know what? Like, I don't like using my quote unquote Oilers fame to, I don't know, I don't take advantage of it. I like what I do, and I don't use it for a lot of personal gain, I guess I should say. But I'm like, you know what? I bet you I could get, you know, maybe like 10 or 20 people go into Glow Juicery and buy the salad. So I posted in the Diehards group, and a day later, the organizer of the group, Chris Kipfert, said, do you think it would be okay if we did like a salad donation page? Because there's a lot of people that can't actually go into the juicery because they're not from here. And a lot of people want to help because a lot of people really like you and support you. And I'm like, sure, that's great. And he's like, I'm going to set the goal at 100. And I'm like, 100 salads? Seriously? You think people are going to donate that many? He's like, oh, I think so. These are really good people. And we ended up with 301 from that page alone of people that donated. Team Ford donated 50. I had a lot of people donate 10, donate 20. Like, it was just insane, the support of these people. And then what we did with the salads is we went and handed them out at the end of November to just people on the street. We went to Boyle Street. We went to a whole bunch of different homeless shelters and just handed salads out to people. And it was like the most amazing experience. And it turned out to just be this thing that I never expected would happen. And if I hadn't have tapped into that Diehard page, I don't think I would have won the challenge. I think
and you had vehicle sponsors too, right?
We had Team Ford donated 2 vehicles for us to drive the salads around.
Did I see that they donated drivers too? Or
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, they sent 2 of their people to drive us around.
That's awesome.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And needless to say, I blew TJ out of the water. Even in the end, TJ told his supporters to go get my salad. He's like, I can't beat this, you know. He's got a good cause because I guess Yeg Fitness is going to be CASA was my charity.
Yeah.
CASA Edmonton, who helps kids, children and adolescents with mental health issues, and we've benefited from them. I guess they're going to be collaborating with Yeg Fitness in January.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it turned out to be this just incredible experience, and all because of this amazing group of people. And it is now spurred on this new thing we're going to do, where we're getting together at the end of December to create care packages. So gloves, mitts, underwear, all sorts of things that, again, all these people from this Diehard page are donating towards. We're going to Team Ford, making all these packages up, and we're just hand them out again to people on the street. Because what we noticed when we were handing out these salads was that the salads were great, and that getting any food for them is huge. But it was cold out, and people were asking if we had gloves, if we had toques, if we had, you know, things to keep them warm, and that was very, very striking to Chris, the organizer of the Diehards page. where he decided, you know what, these salads were great, but we're gonna take this a step further. So this whole salad thing spurred this new movement that we're gonna do, and it's amazing. I think they've raised about $400 or $500, no, $600 so far for us to go and buy stuff that we're just gonna hand out.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I'm super, super excited and very, very lucky to be on that page and be able to do this kind of stuff.
So if I have any listeners that own a business or want to support, what's the best way to get in touch and support that? Just find the Diehards page.
Find the Diehards page, but you can't just go on the Diehards page. They have it's a closed group.
Yeah.
And they have, in order to get or to be accepted on the page, you have to answer some Oilers questions. I mean, you can just Google some of the answers, but no. I can probably. I'm actually. I just spoke with Chris a couple of days ago. He wants me kind of on this small group of people that deal with kind of the financial side of things of what's going on with this. So actually, they could just contact me.
Perfect.
And I can give you information and stuff like that for people to contact me.
Because I don't always know who listens, but I have a feeling that some people might happen to listen to it that might want to create some change.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be a very, very, I don't know what the right word is, but these people are going to be very grateful to receive this stuff.
Yeah.
It's just getting the community involved. I've been given so much, especially as the Anthem Singer. People give me stuff all the time. And I don't mean to say that in an ungrateful way. I am beyond grateful with how generous people have been with me. I want to be in a position where I can give back because I feel like I've just been given so much and I'm not a wealthy person. I really don't have a lot of money, but I can give time. Yeah. And for me, that's the most valuable thing I have because I don't have a lot of it. But when I do have it, I'm able to go out. And I'm not saying this to be like, oh, look at me, I'm so giving, because I feel like the amount of stuff and love and support I've been given, I could never ever give back. So it's a way for me to do what I can to help out. So. And
I love that that's what became of the food fight, this salad battle, because it all started out. And I remember because TJ just got a second dog, a little puppy. Yeah. And he plays the little puppy card. He's like, well, my new puppy is going to come with me on a car ride. So we're going to deliver some salads. If you like one, the puppy will come along. And then you get on there with your dog. And my favorite part was how you did it. You put the dog in front of your face. And, I got car rides too. And I was like, wow, he wins.
Oh, it's like I said, I get very competitive. So TJ posts that, I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to play that card and I'm going to play it better than you did. I don't know if I did or not. His puppy is pretty good.
No, you delivered that flawlessly. I was laughing pretty hard. Yeah. And then the other thing was when it all started out, TJ was holding my beer because he was going to utilize his YEG Fitness connections as we would have predicted. And that has a large amount of potential. Yeah. Because there's businesses that work with YEG Fitness. There's influencers that he knows, good rock solid relationships. Yep. And so we didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Mm-hmm. But then you did your thing and I was like, TJ, you're holding Rob's beer.
Well, and he went and delivered his salad to Cam Talbot and his wife.
Yeah, and
I haven't had a conversation with Cam Talbot. So to me, I'm the Oilers Anthem Singer. He was showing me up on that. He was like, you think you've got connections. Well, and I'm like, oh crap. And that's where I'm like, I've got to turn this up. I've got to do something. And that's when I tapped into the Oilers Diehards page. And I'm like, oops! 300 salads later.
Oopsies!
Yeah. Oh, darn, I won. No, I couldn't think of a better person to do it with. TJ, I mean, you know TJ really well.
Of course,
he's such a cool guy and does a lot for the community and especially for the fitness community. So it was an honor doing the competition with him, and it was an honor winning. Because he's such a cool guy.
Yeah. No, it worked out really, really well. Yeah, and I think both charities have seen a lot of really positive exposure.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because his charity was the one that he's featured for the Yeg Fitness community sweats for the last 3-4 rounds in a row. So
yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah, and one what was her name again who came to the photo shoot? I don't remember her name, but a member from the Edmonton Down Syndrome Society was in that photo shoot too. So I can't wait. I'm gonna be the whitest person on it.
You weren't thinking, man, like if
I was. No, that's not true. Because I was gonna start tanning. But then I'm like, I have this big thing against tanning. Like my mom did it once before they went on a trip and ended up getting cancer in the calf, and they had to like cut it out and everything. So like I contemplated it, but I'm like, I just don't want to get cancer. So I just didn't do it. And then
you gotta think outside the box.
Yes, like you did.
Inside the bottle. So, little backstory. If some of my close friends are listening, I always get chirped for just how white I can get. And especially being a personal trainer under like fluorescent lighting most of the time, never seeing the light of day, I get extra white. Because in the past I've gone on like a tropical trip or like been working outside, so it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But genetically, like I'm extremely Caucasian.
Me too.
There's nothing other than just like Irish, Scottish, English, Danish. And in any case, I've learned that 9 times out of 10, everybody else is more tan than me.
Yes.
And it really stands out when I stand next to them. And after my Halloween costume, which I might have overdone it then, because
you were pretty orange.
I was full on Oompa Loompa, but I did the job. Like,
oh yeah,
I wanted to be. I can't remember what's the guy's name. Fabio.
Yes, you were trying.
Yes, I was going for Fabio, and so I had to be a pretty dark tan, and I had never used this stuff before, so I put it on pretty thick before I let it like set in.
Right.
And so you got to see it after it set in. It was like, oh wow, Chris,
like a week later, it was still there. Like,
yeah,
I was impressed. Yeah.
It was wild, but at least I still had this product, and I was like, well, now we'll just do a light little layer, and no regrets.
See, but I feel like it would have gotten all over my suit or something. Like, if I guess I could have done it a couple days before, and then it kind
usually
of
you
in,
let
right?
it dry.
Yeah. I don't have time to know these things. Jeez. No, yeah. I hope there's some serious editing in that picture because
I'm sure Des will do you.
I'm sure Des will do great.
It's color balance.
Yeah. Oh, she'll look at the picture and go, oh, okay, yeah, we need to do a little changing here. Although that's not the point of that shoot, though. The point of that shoot was to show like fitness in all different forms, right?
Yeah.
So I'll just be the tall white guy.
The tall jacked white guy.
The tall jack, I guess.
Yeah. So tell us about your family a little bit. Like not many people know how big of a family you have. You have
right.
4 kids.
Yes. Yeah. I've got 4 kids. Starting with the oldest, Samuel is 14, almost 15. Benjamin is 12, going to be 13 in about a week here. And then Joshua, who is 9. And Eleanor, who's our youngest, she's 7. So I have 4 kids. Yeah, and a wife, who's amazing.
That's awesome.
I won't tell her age, though, because she probably doesn't want me to.
That's okay.
She's younger than me, though, so that's a good thing.
So if you were to describe each member of your family in one word, what would it be?
Oh, man. That is hard. Oh, that's a good question. Okay. I will start from youngest to oldest. So, Ellie, cute. Do I need to explain that? Or should
no, that's pretty straightforward.
Josh, crazy. Ben, loving. And Sam, mini-me? It's hyphenated.
I love it. What about your other half?
Megan? I can't do that in one word. Megan is everything. Maybe that is one word.
That's actually, a lot of people will get that. They'll understand.
Yeah, she's everything. I would not be able, I wouldn't be the man I am today without her. In every possible way. No.
That's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that the two of you have been doing that I really liked is your bake sale things that you're doing for the field trip there.
Yeah.
So tell us a bit more about that. Like what inspired it? What success have you had? How long does it take?
Well, my kids are in French immersion. Well, most of my kids are in French immersion. One isn't because he's got a lot of developmental delays. But my oldest is in grade 9, and in his junior high, all the grade 9s get to go on a Quebec trip. And we knew this was coming, and because we are not a wealthy family by any stretch of the imagination, start of grade 9 comes around and they have a big meeting with like, here's the trip, it's going to cost $2,500, and we're like, we don't have $2,500 at any time, let alone for this trip. And so we do kind of what we usually do if we need to get money, is we'll either say, all right, we're going to go do some car detailing and we're just going to put an ad out and hopefully people latch onto that. But the time of year was a little different because car detailing kind of dies down for us. It comes September to March, April. And so my wife decided she was going to make some baked goods. And she is an incredible cook. She will find a recipe online and she will make it perfectly the first time. There's very rarely does anything fail with what she makes. Like, it's always amazing. To the point of where I'm like, you need to go to some sort of culinary school because you need to really market this. Anyway, so she found this maple pumpkin pie with like caramel pecan streusel on the top. Like, I'm not a crazy pumpkin pie fan. I have to have probably about like 3 cups of whipped cream on my pumpkin pie for me to enjoy it, because by itself it's just gross. I didn't need any whipped cream on this pie. It was insane. It was like the most amazing pie I've ever tasted. So we sold, I think, 37 of those and charged $25 per pie, and people were willing to spend that.
Yeah.
And Christmas comes around, so what do people do at Christmas time? They bake. And so she's been making, like, I think there's 6 different cookies in these boxes. All of them are amazing, and again, selling them for $25. And like, we've sold 67 of those boxes so far. Like,
wow.
Yeah. So we've raised quite a bit of the money already from just these bake sales. And
are you still going strong with the cookie boxes?
Oh yeah, we're still even taking orders.
How long are you going to be going at with those?
Probably right up until Christmas.
Okay. So if somebody wants those, they just send you a DM.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I will attest to it. I checked out the pictures. I drooled. They were delicious. Like,
they're amazing. December has just been one big long cheat day for me because freak. I can't resist these cookies. Yeah, and they're all over. Like, they're just there, ready, and I'm supposed to not eat them, but I still sometimes eat them.
Did you like hold off while we were waiting for the photo shoots?
Oh, I tried. I tried. Was I successful? Not 100%. But like the week of, I was being very strict with my diet because I've noticed now that my body can metabolize food quite quickly, as opposed to when I used to eat food and it just went, like, it just sat there.
Muscle mass.
Muscle mass, right? Yeah, absolutely. However, that doesn't mean that I can just eat whatever the crap I want. Oh, yeah. But yeah, it's the week before the photo shoot, I was pretty strict, but I kind of like where I'm at. Like, I'm able to maintain a good, like, I'm at 225, 230 pounds. I'm 6'3", so it's a really good, healthy weight for me to be at. And I'm able to maintain that while still enjoying, a few beers now and then, some pizza. Like, I still eat and enjoy it, but I just don't go, like, insane and eat, like, an entire pizza or, 3 burgers or whatever. Like, it's I like where I'm at.
Totally. And it's something where, like, you can sustain this longer term because you're not going to find a point where you're like, all right, screw this, and just jump off the fitness wagon.
No, there's no chance for me to do that now. And that's, and I just made a post about this. It's because of the habit that I formed. All about habit forming when it comes to fitness, I think, right? And for people that are like, oh, I try to get started and it just doesn't work. It's like, well, you probably tried going to the gym for too long, or you went too hard, and your body just rejected it. And it says, nope, I don't want to do this. So what I think is the solution for people that don't know what to do is start with 15 minutes a day. Physically go to the gym for 15 minutes. That's it. And do that for like 2 weeks. It's not a huge time commitment, but what you're doing is you're telling your brain and you're telling your body, This is what I'm doing. It's how we form habits. It's how we form good habits. It's also how we form bad habits, right? If you start smoking a cigarette once a day, you're going to get addicted. If you start going to the gym once a day for 15 minutes, you're going to get addicted. Which is the better addiction? Probably going to the gym, right? Not saying that smoking is bad. People can smoke whatever they want, but definitely going to the gym is a healthier addiction than smoking.
Man, if you ever start smoking, I will hunt you down.
I will not. I can't. Clear. Smoking is so bad for my voice. There's no way, so don't worry about it. Other habits.
You ever sing the anthem?
Sorry?
Oh,
yeah, right? Or I just take it down and be like, oh,
yeah. What happened?
I started smoking. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's it, yeah.
So I want to know a little bit more about the charity that you supported for Glow Juicer. Tell us a little bit about it.
So CASA Foundation, we discovered them when my third child, Joshua, was, I think, two years old. He was showing severe signs of attention deficit disorder, so ADHD, to the point of him escaping the house and just running. Like he would, if the door was open, he would just go. And he was like a puppy, and had no sense of caution or danger at all. To the point of where police were involved. Police got involved because somebody found him. And it's not that we were horrible, inattentive parents. It's that we have 3 other kids. Summertime, the door opens and closes all the time. He gets out while we're doing some gardening or cleaning or something like that. And he would be found like blocks later. One time I was away and my wife went upstairs to order pizza. So that takes 3-4 minutes. In that time, our son, in the middle of winter, in his pajamas, just put boots on and went outside. And we were living on a pretty busy street in Sherwood Park. And just walked right out to the street. And a car stopped and had to get out and grab him because he would have just walked onto the street. And so as soon as she comes down, she's like, "Where's Josh?" Which is kind of the phrase we used in our house quite often. "Where's Josh? Where is he?" And she knows right away that he wasn't in the house. So she went out and just went looking for him, calling his name, talking to neighbors, all that kind of thing. And then finally, eventually, she phoned the police. And he was thankfully at the police station. So we decided we needed to get support. We needed to get help for him because something was wrong. We knew something was wrong. None of our other kids showed any signs of this. So we did a lot of research because when you have to figure out mental issues with your own children and with yourself, there's not really a ton out there. It's better. We're getting better at it, but you've got to do like a lot of searching, especially for kids. And so we found the CASA Foundation, and through a friend of ours said, "Get in touch with them. They're good. They work really well with kids." So we went in. We had him evaluated by a psychologist and a psychiatrist, and it took about six months for us to get a firm diagnosis and then start medicating him. But had we not discovered CASA, I don't know if Josh would have been alive, or if some bad things could have happened. And so, and from that point on, they were very, very supportive, right up until he went into preschool, where we got funding for him to go into a specialized preschool where they deal with kids with all sorts of different issues. And from that point on, their support has been invaluable to us. So when it came to me choosing a charity, CASA was the first one that came to mind. For me, there was no question.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to support CASA, what's the best way? CASA.ca?
I think it's CASA Foundation. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
They can always just use.
You can just Google in CASA Foundation or CASA Edmonton, and it'll bring up their website. Yeah, if you want to donate, or if people are looking for support it deals with children from like really young age up until adolescent. So any kids that are struggling, they work with kids with all sorts of mental health issues, which is amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll thank them to the day I die, because without their support, we would have been lost for sure. And Josh, who knows what would have happened to him.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I have to give a plug for Shane Fennessy because we cross guests sometimes. We both interview the same guest.
Yes.
So our episode could honestly be like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
We both like to talk, and we have a lot that we like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anything that people feel like they'd want to know more, they could probably learn a bit more if they go and they check out City of Champions by Shane Fennessy. He's
Absolutely.
a good pal of mine. I've been on his podcast. You can check out my episode with him too. I got to wrap this up. I got to get to our last question. The most important question. If you could give our listeners one piece of advice on how to live their life most authentically, to the fullest, what would that piece of advice be?
Oh man, so many things come to mind. Just be yourself and know what's good for you. Now that sounds like the most. Like you could see that on a poster, like the pelican with the frog saying "Never give up."
I'm picturing like the kitten hanging.
Or the kid, yeah, exactly. But I say that because I've come from a background, and I won't go into this because it could be forever. But where I wasn't my authentic self for a very long time, I didn't feel like I was. Where I was just basically told to be a certain way, and that there's a reward if you're that way, and that's being good and doing something like that. And I didn't feel like I was being good or doing good because I wanted to be. I felt like I was that way because that's how I was told. And I came to the realization that that's not the way to live. The way to live is to be good and do good because it makes you feel good, but it makes other people feel good. And I talk a lot about integrity, having integrity. I talk about this with my kids where they'll be like, "Hey, I went and cleaned the living room today. Did you notice?" And I'll be like, "Well, thank you so much for vacuuming the living room. But you know what's even cooler is for you not to actually come and tell us that you did it. To just do it because you wanted to do something good." So having, and I say that's what integrity is: doing something doing something good when nobody's looking. And so I guess that would be the advice: have integrity, have that kind of integrity where you're just willing to do good stuff. And then not go and post be like, "Look what I did. I helped this person across the street when nobody else would." Right? That's not integrity. That's you just kind of saying, "I'm amazing." Not to say that you can't share that stuff because that stuff does inspire people. For sure. But I think the most important is to do good when no one's watching. Right?
If it's like a habit that you're doing good just because you like to, maybe the odd time you might share something that you did. But if you're just inherently going to do it no matter what.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, have integrity.
Such a good lesson to teach your kids too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I feel like we could do a sequel to this episode.
That's what Shane said too. And I haven't seen him for a while, but definitely I would definitely come back.
Good. Well, it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
You too.
Big plans for the rest of your day?
Well, I'm singing. I am singing, but I'm going to Concordia to work with one more student. And then I've got a Molson Game Day Live tonight that I'm going to be singing at a bar.
Nice.
Those are fun. Oh, yeah.
Nice. All right.
Cool.
Well, I'll let you take off.
Sounds good.